And we are live. Good evening, folks. Welcome to Friday Night Tech Talk. I'm Mobile Geezer, which you're well aware of if you're watching on YouTube, because you're watching on the Mobile Geezer channel. But as I tell you each week, we also simulcast on both of my Facebook IDs, so you can watch on Mobile Geezer on Facebook, or you can watch on George says, wait a minute. Big news. Look who's here. Okay,
Yay!
we got a strange man here. I don't know who this is.
I came here to
that,
crash the party. That's right.
that's a nice surprise. What are those glasses you are wearing?
Well, 2 weekends ago, my cousin had her birthday. She turned 50,
I remember
and
you had posted that somewhere.
yeah. So these
And
are some of the party favors. And I said,
okay.
she said, take them home.
Here, here's
So
Eleanor just in time to catch you. That was a great surprise, Mike.
there you go.
Everybody's going to be thrilled.
There you go. That's what I'm all about here. I'm out to surprise everybody. Hi, I'm here.
I said to one of my coworkers today, because I showed him that picture of your snow up to your window, I said, I hope it's better. Is it better?
Much better. This snow melted so much faster than the other one. It also helps. It was been above, closer to freezing mark or above.
Well, that's
But
good.
when that first snow came here, it was below. If it got up to 27, that was a gorgeous day. That was almost spring day. It felt,
yeah. Well,
we had.
I don't want to make you feel bad, but it was 72 here today.
That's what I keep on seeing and hearing. My wife's cousin's coming home from Florida, and he spent almost a month heading south.
Right.
I mean, he missed all the storms. He got out just after the big one. He got out after the big one, the first one we had in late January.
Okay, good.
But oh man, he timed that right. Let me tell you right now. So,
Eleanor said, see what happens when it snows in Jersey. Now, of course.
Yeah, that's what happened when I was. That's what I mentioned about in my video. I said, hey, it took a snowstorm for me to finally sit down and finish the video. I shot it.
True.
I was messing with it. I was putzing around, and
But I thought what you did really well was you took the sky and the grass before the snowstorm hit, so you really showed the difference the next day.
Yes, yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, that's
now, of
what
course,
I was trying to do.
Eleanor had 36 years in North Jersey, and I had 44, so we know what it's like. But strangely enough, usually you guys in the Philly area have different weather usually than we get in the New York area.
Yeah, well, the New York area still got hammered. They got really beat up real bad, too. So.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And that's how it usually is. You either get a lot up north and not so much down south, or vice versa, So.
Right. I'm looking at the comments. Oh, okay, just Eleanor here, right? Hey, Eleanor.
Yeah, now wait, let me, I was going to show them something. I got this arrived today. Hope you can see this. It was off on sale. Oh, wait, Mike disappeared. I hope he shows back up. Let's see if Mike comes back in. Okay, you disappeared for a minute. I'm trying to show you what showed up today. So, this was on sale. I couldn't resist the price. They knocked $100 off. I'm like, when am I ever going to get this for $600? This is, don't get excited. This is the low-end Motorola Razr last year's 2025.
2025 regular Razr.
Regular Razr.
Okay.
But now, of course, I have the 2025 regular Razr, and I have my Z Flip 7 FE to compare it with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do an unboxing tomorrow, but I just
cool.
People know I had, and I did order. I haven't had a Ultra in 3 years since the 23. I did order the S26 Ultra.
Oh wow.
Right now, it's showing like everybody else. I should be getting it March 11th. My guess is it'll be a little before that, I hope. But just wanted to let you guys know I did order mine.
Oh, okay. Cool. So, I wanted to come on, and by the way, George, I'm not going to be here terribly long. I I took a super early run for tomorrow morning Amazon. I couldn't resist it. Um,
Last time you were on, you had to get up like 4 o'clock on
well,
Saturday.
I'm getting up this. I'm getting up tomorrow about 1:30 to get up to go to
Wow,
the 3 o'clock. They're, George, I can't resist $108 for 3 hours to go deliver.
that's awesome.
Yeah. So I got to take it, and I'm doing. I'll post it on Facebook. I may take a few shots. I'm doing I don't know if you've seen me before. I'm doing my cousin, the same one who was her birthday.
Uh huh.
She runs a casino, like a Marty, not
Yeah,
like a
you've showed us
casino.
that a few times, and
Yeah.
you do the dealer thing.
Yep.
And,
So
and I do have to say, you do clean up nicely. I have to
I
give it to
know.
you.
Yeah. So I do clean up nice, and it's fun. It's fun. She has a really good business. Really good business. They just
Now,
been traveling
how late do you do that?
tomorrow, and I'm not. The time slot I'm going to give you like 6 to 10, I think,
Oh, that's
and
not. I was
probably
thinking it was like 1 in the morning or something.
well, I mean, tomorrow's six to 10. There were some late ones. They got one here by the college. One time I was there until about midnight or
Oh, so
so.
it moves. I didn't realize it moved around. Hey, Brian's in here. What's up, Brian? Look who's here.
Hey,
He came
Brent,
at the right time.
I'm trying
He's
to
not going to be here long because he's got
yeah,
to get up at 1:30 in the morning
yeah,
for
go.
DoorDash. Is it DoorDash or
No,
Amazon?
Amazon. I'm
Okay,
delivering
okay.
Amazon tomorrow. So,
Oh,
but
and Brian, since you just got here, this just showed up today.
hmm
The
that's
low
right.
end Razor 2025. I couldn't resist
That's
the
a good.
discount.
That's a good comparison, though.
Yeah, but
Between the
I'll be
FE.
comparing with my Zip 7 Z Flip 7 FE. So,
hmm Yeah, that's going to
and
be
I
a
did,
good one.
and Brian, thank you. As Brian's always so faithful. And also, Brian, I did order the S26 Ultra, and like everybody else, it's slated for March 11th. So, just wanted to let you guys know that it's on the way. So,
So
Mikey, you made our whole night. You know that.
I know it. I know that. I know. So I
So you
just
got a busy weekend. You're going to get up at 1:30 in the morning, go to work, and then tomorrow night you're going to be working as a dealer.
right. I'm going to. I am going. Yeah, and then in between I'm going to like nap, and then next day Sunday I got to go to Pennsylvania for my grandson is going to. We're having a birthday party for my youngest grandson, and we're
Now,
going
was he
to.
3 or 4?
He's 4. He's
Okay,
he's
I
4.
remembered. I remember
And
it had to be one of the two.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, and then there's Gabriel, which he's 10 and a half now.
right,
He'll be 11 in August. So yeah,
cool.
they're growing. They're all grown. So, but I just switched. I was like playing around while I was waiting. I talk about phones and stuff. I switched carriers,
Okay,
and I was a big negative. I didn't like eSIM, and I'm not 100% sold. If I want to go right now to go from take one of my numbers and eSIM it to my iPhone, it's a
right.
real pain in the neck. I don't know
Well,
if you've done it.
tomorrow I'm going to go to the T-Mobile store to get
Mhm.
my Pixel 10 and take it off eSIM so I can put the regular SIM in my Razor. Because having two phones on eSIM is just too much when I only have 3 lines.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well,
And of course I have
you
my
could
iPhone
switch.
17 on eSIM, and so I'm going to take the Pixel 10 off eSIM.
Well, the Pixel 10. Well, you can eSIM. You can eSIM to your new phone.
Right, but I don't want an eSIM. I want a regular SIM that I can switch out.
You want a physical SIM. You want a
Right.
physical. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
And Gemini told me how to do it, but I think it's easier if I go to the store tomorrow morning.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah. I've been messing around with eSIM. I'm not crazy about it, but if you're going from Apple to Apple or
right.
Android to Android, it's not that bad.
Oh yeah, when
So.
I went from the iPhone 15, what was it, the Pro Max to
hmm
the iPhone 17, that was easy as pie with
Yeah.
T-Mobile.
Yeah. You could do it on your own. So, I've been wanting to try this phone out. Like, I really uh,
Now, which one is that?
the S25 Ultra.
Okay.
I've had it and I haven't really done anything with it. I
Okay.
I really haven't, that's my doing. And I'm coming up with ideas with trying to do some different videos. I don't
Uh-huh.
know if we really. My next video I know I want to work on is my long story. I don't know if I've mentioned about taking my son's and my best friend's phone to uh, you break it, I fix it, because
Okay.
they had the warranty battery.
I remember you
And
mentioned it, but that's all I remember now.
yeah, well, through different things, I got my friend squared away, and then I, at the same time, this place well, thank goodness it was in Delaware. This one
Okay.
had the batteries. They had two left. I
Okay.
said I'll take both, and my son was really having a really this update they pushed on these phones on these Pixel 6As
Right.
really dogged them, the battery life, and they were both complaining.
Right.
So, so I picked up for another friend a S24 FE for him because I knew I was going to be going down to see him,
Okay.
but the thing that got skunked on that was that phone was I bought it renewed from Amazon. It said
Right.
unlocked. Okay, I get it. And then there's this little strip of paper saying in there. It tells me this is a Verizon variant. Is
That
completely
happens
unlocked.
often. That's
And I'm
happened to
like,
me.
I was like, no. So this is way before I put my one of my SIMs, what non Verizon SIM, in the
Right.
phone,
But it
and
worked okay, I would assume.
it worked fine.
Right.
Somebody like me, I was getting constant nagging messages saying, "Hey, it's an inappropriate SIM."
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
constantly
Because usually
nagging. Like,
when that's happened to me, when you boot it up, you get the Verizon, but after that, it's fine.
nope, I could not turn it off. I could not figure a way to turn it off. Yes, there are some of them that you can way. There's a way to get that pop up, but I'm like,
Right.
I can't give this phone to my friend, and that's when I eventually gave him the. I gave him my A54, my Samsung A54. I gave to him, and then I gave the S24 FE, which were on Verizon. Our
Right.
family, my son Michael, me, and
Right.
Patty. I gave him that because it was a Verizon. Now, once it got on Verizon, that thing was smooth as butter.
Oh, it was
That
great. Of
that
course, that's what it was
yeah.
made for. Yeah.
And the FE, I put the FE on one of my Verizon lines, and it really was nice, a nice
Oh, good.
phone.
Good.
And I said it would be good, so I gave him the FE. I took the Pixel 6 after I got the battery in it, so it's
That's
got
the
a fresh
6A,
battery,
right?
the 6A,
Okay.
and I'm going to do a review, kind of like what's going on with it, because and on top of that, I put Android 17 beta on
Okay.
that phone because I figured I done one beta. My last beta I did, I bricked the phone. I don't know
Did
what
you
I
really?
now. I should say I think I know what might have done is I might have not reset it properly, and it was stuck in
In
a
a in a loop?
not a loop, but it wouldn't let me go past a certain thing. And then
Okay.
that gentleman, Aloha Tito,
Oh, it got stuck in the BIOS.
right? And
Okay.
then he had a trick, and I tried to do it, and I couldn't do it. And actually, I gave him the phone. I gave
Okay.
Tito the phone because I knew he could do. I said, just take it. I gave him a bunch. Well, it was one of those days I came up here, cleaned out I gave him a bunch of trinket stuff. I don't know, whatever. I said, listen, I'm going to ship you this stuff. You could probably use some of it.
Okay.
And I say, you know what? The Pixel 6A wasn't worth a lot of money as it is. So if I brick it, fine. If not, great. And I figure, you know what? It really is still snappy, still a great
Right.
performer. It still frustrates me that the fingerprint sensor, the thumb, well, for me, the
Oh, I
thumb,
remember you mentioned that. Yeah.
yeah, it's, well, like I had a Pixel 6, and that was a big problem.
And
Well,
Elmo still has an
yeah,
old Pixel 6, and I think it's okay here.
yeah, but if she's using a screen protector, that's the biggest thing. I have
Oh,
screen
no. So
protectors.
she and I both don't use screen
Right.
protectors at
Well,
all.
it works okay. I find it even without a screen protector, it was kind of like the going from the 6 or the 6A to my Pixel 8 Pro.
Okay.
Oh my God, the fingerprint sensor is phenomenal,
Night and
phenomenal
day.
better. Yeah, night
Okay.
and day, night and day.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's what I really want to do because it's still nostalgic. I do like the phone. It is a Pixel. It really surprisingly, it's
Yeah,
just there's
but Elmer saying, I have no problem. I use two fingers. As a matter of fact, and neither one gives me a problem. But right now, Eleanor has the Pixel 8.
oh,
I'm
okay,
sorry, Pixel 8A.
okay,
So she's past the Pixel 6, but she still has the Pixel 6. We just haven't done anything with it.
all right, all right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's coming up on the end of life on it, and I figure, you know what, that's good content.
Right.
I can put some effort into it. But as I
Right.
was saying, so I moved things around, but this is going to probably my next piece I'm going to do with
Okay. Oh,
with
and let
all
me
that's going on.
tell everybody the two flip phones you did the other day.
Well, I did kind of like my take
Okay.
on these two phones. This is the
Right.
wait a minute. This, this wait a minute. I get oh there we
Don't
go.
confuse. Okay.
Yeah, because yeah. Anyway, this is the Razor uh, Plus 2024, and this is the Z Flip
Okay.
uh,
The reason I
G7.
wanted you to say, because I wanted to tell everybody, Mike did a really nice job comparing the two the other day, so you should go watch Simply My Device and
I
check it out.
I'm gonna just give you a little behind the scenes. I sat down and kind of like I shot the video, and when I shot it, I'm like, oh man, I sound horrible. I just not the audio, not the audio quality, just with the words coming out of my mouth. And I
Okay.
redid that whole video,
That's
keeping
good.
the
That
video
happens
that I
to
shot.
all of us. Yeah.
And I sat down and kind of like I used the technology that's all around me here
Exactly.
and use a Google Doc and kind of like framed it out where I put everything had if you notice certain breaks in it, that's
Hmm.
me doing like I read a paragraph or two, take a break.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, me, I notice it. Okay, I would notice
Yeah.
it, but I was just mentioning that's how it was, and I that was the thing about that made this video uh, better because I basically got the point across and I got it done in a quicker amount of time instead of dragging it out and showing
Right.
different things and I just felt it really came to be so really nice. So
Good. Well, you did a great job, and I'm
thank
telling
you,
everybody you should go watch. He did a nice job, and he
thank
had
you.
been off so long without doing a video. It was really great.
Yeah, I think yeah. So have you been in touch with Will lately?
I did send it. Well, I had told him 3 weeks ago when he was on that I had missed the One 7. That's the one with the camera that rose up. I had
Yeah.
missed it so much. I had ordered an old one, and he was very worried about it. And he said, "Suppose it doesn't work," and so old. Well, turns out the shipping never came through. Supposedly, USPS was supposed to pick it up, and it sat there for over a month. So I just got my money back 2 days
Wow.
ago. So I did
Yeah, I
send
didn't
Will a
understand.
message.
Oh,
I
okay.
did send Will a message saying, "Okay, Will, you can stop worrying. I got my money
Yeah,
back."
I saw
So
that in our group chat, and I didn't
right.
understand. So you were out to try and get the One Plus 7
I was
Pro?
trying to get the one, but simply because it's so unique and I love that
Yeah.
phone. But I think, okay, if the guy didn't ship it in a month, well, he tried to ship it, but it looked like it never went through or something. So I finally said, okay, I guess I just wasn't meant to have that phone.
Right. Yeah. Well, well then you just turn around and use some funds to buy the Razor. So right.
And I also was finally able to trade in my One Plus Two. No, I'm sorry, my One Plus 12 because I've been sitting here with the 12 and the 13, and I said, I should trade in this One Plus 12. So they took it for I forgot how much, but they took it for enough, and so I'll be sending that in to Motorola.
Oh, you took that. You used that as trade. Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. All right. So, what was your appeal with uh, the the Samsung? What's
Oh, it's because, I love my Ultra. I had the Ultra 21. I had the Ultra 23 twice.
Right.
And then I haven't had an Ultra because I've been staying away from the more expensive Samsung phones. And I finally said, okay, it's been 3 years since I officially. So I
Mm-hmm.
finally said, okay, it's time for me to get. And things have been going kind of well with me lately financially. And I'm like, okay, this is the time to do it. Of course, had my taxes done, which I get done at H&R Block every year. And I got the last 3 years, the lady that does my taxes, I get a nice chunk of money back. But this year, I expect to get my money in 2, 3 weeks. I got it in 4 days.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I'm like, okay, now things are going good.
Yeah,
And then a
really.
couple of other things went well. And I just got another, I'll be getting a payment from Google this month. And that's been like every other month. So I'll be getting that in a couple of weeks too. So things are
So
going pretty well.
I see your numbers are still they're increasing. You're over
Yeah,
well over
Ren's is
1,000.
in here. Ren, so glad you're here, brother. Good to
Hey,
see you.
hey, man, how you doing? How you doing?
All right, I guess I better shoot it real quick. Just let her know. The Razor 2025, the plain one, the base one, was on sale. They knocked off $100, so I picked that up, and I figure I'm going to compare it against my Flip 7 FE. So told everybody about that, but since you were late, but it's so good to have you here, brother. Good to you. He's
Yeah,
saying sorry.
yeah, yeah. It's been a while.
He's saying have so he's at work. I know
I
that.
know. Yeah, I know you. Yeah, yeah.
So just glad to see him in here. That was great.
The
And
interesting thing between these two flip phones is
uh-huh.
this one. It just feels, as I say, one of the things I can't get over. I just did it. It just hit me again. Like, wow, this is the Z Flip, and it's
Right.
just the build quality. You just can feel it. Now, I
The
know
build
this kit.
quality, even on the 7FE, the build quality is very
Yeah,
good. Now, keep in mind, I got this Razor 2025, but I had originally had the original Razor in 2023, the Ultra, and my screen went dead on me after
yeah, I
about
remember
nine
that. I
months.
remember that. Yeah.
So I said, all right, let me take a chance since they just knocked off the
Well,
money, and
listen,
I'll just
you
get the
got it.
low end one.
You just got it. Well, get it right. But if you got an issue again, you just got to. I mean, come on, George. You got there's at least a year warranty on it. So
Well, that's true.
yeah.
That's true. And what did Brian said?
Hey, Red.
Oh no, he had something else.
I'm on my tablet, by the
Yeah,
way. So
Brian says Moto software update schedule, and that's very true. You never
yeah.
know when they're going to
I
update.
don't know if I don't know if you saw my. Well, I think I shared in our group chat too. I got an update. I got an update on
I
the Moto
remember you.
phone.
Yeah,
I was like,
that was
woo!
last week, right?
No, well, no, I got it this morning.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
I got a security patch on it this morning, which I was excited for. Just that. I mean, and the news is that Android 16 is slowly rolling out, but here it
Yeah.
is. We're only a day away from March, and meanwhile, I think Samsung's going to release an update soon for a new OS update.
And look who's here. Ted, you should get in here. I get Ted is probably out in Dallas wandering around somewhere.
Mm. So
Moto security is possible, at least he says. Okay, well, that's true. You just have to wait. But see, like Mike said, he got one this morning, and Moto is so iffy, you get excited when you see it.
yeah, I was like, "What's this?" I went to go pick up the phone this morning after I put it on the charger. I
Yeah,
taken it off the charger. I'm like, going, "Why is it making me reboot?" Right away,
there
I'm
you
like,
go.
I said I didn't do anything, and sure enough, it booted up and said, "Enjoy your new update." I was like, "Wow,
Very good.
wow."
Look
So
how consistent Renz is. He said, Ted, what's tonight's sponsor? Ted, my guess is Ted is not home, Renz, so there probably is none.
hmm
But anyway,
so
yeah, Brian
uh,
says he's tired because of work,
okay,
and Ren says same thing. Yeah, well, Ren would have just got to work, what, half an hour ago or so?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
But
it's Saturday morning in the Philippines, so Ren's gets to work, I think, at 8 o'clock.
what I was getting around to telling you was our buddy Will, Mister, I buy a pixel and return it, got
Right.
another pixel. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, he got another one when?
He got, I don't, in the last week, he showed. I get this.
Really? Because he
Well,
already had this one, yes?
he had one, yeah, the Pro, the 10 Pro.
Right.
He got it again. George, I get these spam text messages once in a
Okay.
blue moon, and the newest spam messages I get is these people acting like they know me. They're texting me on my primary line, and
Of
sometimes
course.
on the secondary line, which is the
That happens
what
to me all
you
the
right. I
time.
get right. I get, hey, what's up, bro, or yo, bro, or something like that, and I'm like, oh,
Right.
spam. I immediately wipe it away. I hit
And it
block
was
on it.
Will.
It was Will. Will messaged me on his regular line going, "Are you getting my messages?" I go, "I got your message here. What are you talking about?" No, no. Did you get the other? I go, "What are you talking about?" And he shows me a Pixel phone, and a Pixel watch. I'm like, "Are you kidding?"
Really?
Yeah, yeah. So
So at the moment, he's got an Apple and an Apple Watch and a Pixel and a Pixel
Pixel,
Watch.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to talk him into. He was going, "I got to get earbuds for it." He wants to get AirPods. I'm like, "Oh, don't get AirPods, man. Get a Pixel." The Pixel 2As, I got them too on a deal. I got them on a deal because I bought my Pixel 10 Pro, and I got all kinds of credit. Google's
Right. Yeah.
having some,
And Google's
yeah,
good for it. They will give you lots of credit.
credit. So I bought them. They were on sale, and then I used my credit. And it's just like the last ones, the regular Pixel A's. They. What I liked about them is they stayed in the ear.
Right.
They
But
you
see,
could.
that's now right now. I take the cheap earbuds that I did an update on the other day. They were only $20 on sale, and that was half price on the what's the brand? Oh, I forget. Anyway, but I dropped one out of my ear today at work. But I was getting out of the van, getting ready to go pick up a car for Enterprise. Well, one of the ladies that I work with sits in the seat right next to the door, and
Mhm.
I'm leaning over to the door. The thing drops out of my ear. None of us could. We had about 5 or 6 people hunting on the floor. If I saw it fall out of my ear, guess what? They called me about 2 hours later. We found your earbud. It fell right into her pocket, so I got it back. So I bring that to work, and they sound great for cheap earbuds. But I also bring my AirPods too. That one always sticks in my ear, and
Mhm.
it never drops out. So,
I find I do have the Samsung Buds Pro last year's
okay.
model, Bud 3,
Okay. Well,
and
well.
that stem.
And I forgot to tell you guys with the 26 Ultra, I did order the Buds Pro 4.
I find the stem seems to be they are probably one of the most premium earbuds I have and actually
Okay.
stay in my ear.
Okay.
I can't. I got the original Google Pixel Pro buds, the first
Well,
gen.
I had the Pixel 1. I had the Pixel 2 Buds.
Yeah, and well, the ones they always fall out. Now I have to sit still, don't talk, don't move my jaw, and I'm fine. And they
Okay.
really are not bad sound quality. But man, the minute you move your head or do any kind of gesture, all of a sudden, and it's in my ears. It's the shape of
Really?
my shape of my ears. I'm telling you. But with the other buds, the Pixel 8 buds, they got a little wing in them. They all
Okay.
have wings
Yeah.
in it,
People like that wing.
and that wing helps you keep them in place, and then
Right.
they stick around. So
So me being me, of course, you mean you've been winging it, right? Okay. Okay.
I
You know
knew
I
it.
couldn't resist that.
I knew that was coming. I knew it.
Especially when one of my coworkers just started watching on Facebook. So she was expecting that too.
So, well, hey George, listen, I just wanted to pop on real quick.
I'm
Okay,
so glad you did.
I wanted to pop on, say hi, everybody. Hi to you. Hi to Eleanor. Hi to the family that
All right,
who come
I'm
on.
going to give you. I'm going to give you the perfect song for tonight from the Marx Brothers, 1938. 38. Groucho. Hello, I must be going. I cannot stay. I came to say I must be going. That's perfect for you tonight.
Well, I must be going. I must be.
Exactly.
There's people's packages wait, and I need my sleep. So,
All right. Well, we're very glad you came, as always.
Thank you, thank you.
And thanks for letting me know about Will. I'll be teasing him a little bit and see if I can
my
find out
God,
how long will he keep the pixel this time.
yeah,
You know.
yeah. Well, we're up to about a week now, so let's see. We
Well,
got
he
another
kept the
week to
last
go.
week. The last time he bought it, he had it 2 weeks, didn't he?
I don't understand how he no. Yeah, I thought he kept them long enough where he could
Yeah.
return them, and he tried.
That's
Thanks,
right. They
Brian.
screwed him. That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he tried, but he did get a return. I don't know
Yeah.
how he does this. The man is he's just incredible. So, but listen, George, you go do your stories. You have
All
all
right.
good
Hope
night,
hope you
everybody.
have.
Thank you.
I hope everything's successful tomorrow morning, and I know
Yeah,
you'll do a good job dealing at the casino
of
tomorrow
course.
night.
Check me out on Facebook. I'll be snapping pictures there.
All
Okay.
right. Well, I'll be following. Thanks,
All right.
brother.
All right. Take care. Talk to you.
Have a
Bye.
good one. All right, guys. Now it's back to just me. That was great having Mike here for what, a half an hour. That was awesome. So, but he's got to get up at 1:30 in the morning to do his Amazon, not DoorDash. And then tomorrow night he's going to be dealing at the casino for his cousin, which he does every once in a while. But if you follow him on Facebook or Instagram, I think, yeah, he's on TikTok too. The way he dresses up for the casino, being the dealer with the tuxedo, he looks pretty awesome. So you should check him out if you can. Okay, so now I'm going to go into my regular stories, and I didn't even give you guys a preview or anything, didn't have time. But as always, if you click on the QR code, that'll take you straight to my website and just give you tonight's show notes. So if you want to follow along there. But as always, I'm going to take you to my website and give you a little preview of the stories. So I'm going to share, as always. And go down here. Okay. So if you go to mobilegeezer.wordpress.com, if you click on today's date, you'll get just the show notes for tonight's show. So the little quick preview, because we're running a little behind, but it was great to have Mike. All right, so I just found some. First one, I always try to find interesting or whatever's big that week. So interesting to me this week, Mac Mini to be built. I said in Uncle Sam Land, they're going to start building some of the Mac Minis. I don't know how many in America. So I think Trump got that out of Tim Cook. And I guess Tim Cook is kind of keeping his promise. So I want to start with that. And then, of course, the big thing this week, we actually did have our Galaxy Unpacked. So I just said this week's big event, and we'll go over that. I pulled it from my Android Central. Then, right behind it, of course, the big thing on the S26 Ultra is the privacy display, and it is pretty awesome. So I found a story on Tech Radar about that, short story, but it explains it pretty well. Then, I don't know if you guys have heard of OpenClaw, but it's an AI assistant that does real work, and it really does. There's a guy called Rob Braxman, Braxman. He's out in California. He's been a developer and he runs his own company for many years. He's worked for Apple and Microsoft, but he's a real privacy expert. And he happened to do a video last week about OpenClaw, and this thing really does real work, more so than other AI assistants. So I just figured I'd use the CNET story to tell you guys about OpenClaw. I haven't even tried it myself yet, but Rob Braxman does highly recommend it. So, and if you get a chance, follow Rob Braxman, Robbraxman. He's got his own group. They discuss all kinds of things. He puts out his own phone called the Brax phone. I think he's on the Brax phone 3 up already. If you want a real privacy phone, that's the guy to go to. So, all right. So after that, got a T-Mobile story. T-Mobile bringing live translation to all customers. Now, I went over the story again. It may not be to all customers, but you can do live translation. Well, it's in beta right now, but you don't need any specific phone. That's the cool thing. I just thought that was kind of a cool story. And then the last story, Anthropic is having a big argument with the Department of Defense. And I mean, they've been going at it. And just before I started the show tonight, I saw a new article that said they're not going to, what the DOD is trying to get them to let them do weapons and that kind of stuff, and they don't want to do it. So they're pretty much standing their ground. So interesting story. So those are the stories that I've got. So it shouldn't be very long, of course, with me by myself. So let's start with the Mac Mini story back at Tech Radar. So I'm going to click here. Apple will build the Mac Mini in the U.S., and you can probably thank AI. That's written by Lance Ulanoff, who's the guy that gives us all our hacker stories. He said better than a golden plaque, and you'll see what that is in the story. So let's drop this into reader view, get rid of these ads. But I think it is cool that Tim Cook is keeping his promise to the president. So good for him about bringing some of the jobs back. So the suddenly hot Mac Mini will soon be made in the United States. Apple CEO Tim Cook announced the move on Tuesday in a post on X. As part of our $600 billion commitment, and that's what he committed to Trump, Mac Mini will be produced in the U.S. for the first time later this year, wrote Cook. The $600 billion investment he refers to is the billions Cook promised U.S. President Donald Trump last year he'd be funneling into U.S. manufacturing efforts as part of a new American manufacturing program. He made the promise while also presenting Trump with a golden plaque featuring the words "Made in America," so that's where the golden plaque reference came from. This Mac Mini news, though, may be far more valuable to American consumers interested in buying one of Apple's increasingly popular tiny desktop computers. So I gather they're growing with their market, with selling those. A mini piece of the pie. The Mac Mini has accounted for only about 1% of Apple's Mac sales in recent years, but the Mini star is on the rise. According to recent reports, 2024 M4 Mac Minis have been selling out along with Mac Studios. That's great. Why blame AI? The tiny box computer is considered a perfect fit for handling localized agentic AI tasks, and so they're apparently flying off the shelves. Now, it's unclear if all those sales are helping the Mac Mini draw closer to, say, its best-selling MacBook Air, which is what I have, or MacBook Pro counterparts. That seems unlikely. But the U.S. production set to begin at a new Houston, Texas facility later this year should increase Mini production levels. And even some of the people, I saw a video sometime today or yesterday, that some of the people producing parts for some of these things have also opened facilities in the United States just to back up Apple. So that's pretty good. An entire production facility devoted to just one thin slice of Apple's Mac market doesn't make much sense. However, AI's appetite for hardware goes far beyond the Mini. Apple will also be building AI servers that should help support the company's growing private cloud computer and other AI aspirations. How many are these operations? So this is in the supply chain. This is one of the companies that I told you, one of their suppliers is also opening different facilities in New York. I think that one was in North Carolina as far as I saw. Anyway, so that's kind of good. So Trump should be happy about that. If you go in the story, you can click on YouTube and you'll see that. Tim Cook's post offers scant details on exactly when the facility will open and become operational, or how many Mac Minis it will produce each quarter. It's likely the factory will only build a fraction of all the Mac Minis Apple produces for sale. Perhaps it will build all those sold in the U.S. while other global manufacturing facilities serve the rest of the world. Yeah, that would make sense. However, we do know a bit more about how Apple builds products through its supply chain and with its manufacturing partners, thanks to a new video report from the Wall Street Journal. I guess that was the video that I saw, and I think that's the video you'll see here. The report focuses largely on Apple's efforts to get its Apple Silicon built in the U.S. Apple does not produce any chips. It relies on a series of partners to produce the high-powered silicon. However, it's clear from the video that Apple's fingerprints are all over the process. When asked by the Wall Street Journal, who's the most demanding customer you have, the Global Wafers exec answered quickly, Apple. Yeah, he did. Came back with that right away. Apple's deep involvement and its size give it the power to push partners like these chip supply chain partners to move more operations to the U.S. And like I said, I think that particular facility was in North Carolina. iPhone next. Apple's promise to begin building some Mac Minis in the U.S. this year does not signal a massive shift to making all Apple products in the U.S., and when Apple executives were asked by the Wall Street Journal about making the iPhone in the U.S., they gave a circuitous answer about future innovation. Yeah, I wouldn't answer that either, but offered no insight into future iPhone build operations. I'm sure it's an ongoing thing. Ultimately, the Mac Mini's new manufacturing home represents a small but perhaps important return to U.S. manufacturing for Apple, which famously built the original Macintosh in Fremont, California. There's no indication Apple, of course that was in the 80s, so there's no indication Apple is planning a broad return to U.S. manufacturing, but the push for U.S.-based operations for chip manufacturing is perhaps a stronger possibility because of the growing need for chips and memory in the U.S. And considering what memory is costing, I can see that would be a good idea. For now, the majority of silicon and RAM are made outside the U.S. Once again, the global AI race is creating unprecedented demand shortages and the need for, in the U.S., closer to home supply chains. Yeah, it should make things easier and you won't have to deal with tariffs. In a way, this Houston-based operation is also a proof of concept. That's true. If it goes well and Apple can also bring some Apple Silicon manufacturing to the U.S., we may finally see a wider swath of Apple products arriving without the support of imports and potential burden of tariffs. Will that mean cheaper Mac Minis and eventually other products? Only time will tell. So, well-written story, but they will be building some Mac Minis here by the end of the year, so that's good for America, I guess, in general, and Trump should be happy. So, just thought that was a good story to start with. So, of course, the biggie of the week next. I just said this week's big event, Galaxy Unpacked, and I pulled it from Android Central. Let's go take a look. And the event was Wednesday. Samsung's most cohesive unpacked in years sets the stage for the Galaxy S26, less filler, more focus. Now, Shruti Sekhar published this. Now, she's the boss of the guys that when we used to listen to Android Central every week, she was the manager. So, she really liked this presentation. I've already seen a couple of others. Everybody has different opinions that thought that this event was boring as all get out. I tend to agree with her. So, Samsung finally delivered a stellar unpacked event and the new Galaxy S26 phone. So she was pretty happy with this event and the new phones. And she'll tell us why. Into review. For the first time ever, I actually enjoyed watching Samsung Galaxy Unpacked 2026, during which the South Korean company announced its latest lineup of devices, part of its flagship phones. Samsung launched the S26 series, which includes the Galaxy S26, S26 Plus, and S26 Ultra variants. That's what I got. And also announced the Galaxy Buds 4. I also got that. Buds 4. I got the Buds 4 Pro. The Galaxy S26 Ultra in particular has some of the most interesting new features, that's true, including a new display technology that acts as a privacy screen. And we have a story about that coming up right behind this one. I was briefed in the Samsung Toronto office, so she sent some of her team to San Francisco, but she didn't go in person herself. While Android Central managing editor Derek Lee was briefed in San Francisco both before the event, so they knew what was going to happen before it actually started. Because we've been briefed already during the event, it's unlikely that we as journalists are fully paying attention because we know everything that's going to be announced. But even then, we watch just to be safe in case there's breaking news. Most years, I've sat back and complained about how boring the event is, how it doesn't feel different than what Samsung has done in the past, and how I don't think it's worth their time to keep doing these events. But during Wednesday's event, I actually said to my team that I really enjoyed watching the event, so did I, and found the new devices to be impressive, specifically the Galaxy S26 Ultra. From Korea to San Francisco, this event was not one to miss, and you can still go out and watch it. I would recommend watching it. I timed it, it was an hour and 7 minutes, so it wasn't long. I know that being in person at an event is different from live streaming it. The last time I was at an in-person event with Samsung was when they hosted in South Korea 3 years ago. I remember that. I remember saying that the event felt pretentious and boring. That was absolutely not the case this year. Samsung's ability to remain humble but at the same time show off an impressive set of phones is a testament to how they decided to start the new year. So she's pretty impressed with what they did. I think Samsung also made the right decision to forego a flashy spectacle by bringing out a celebrity to tout how good their phones are, instead opting for something far more relatable and likable by bringing out someone like Miles Franklin, a.k.a. Miles Above Tech. That's his YouTube channel. And while they did have a clip of South Korean singer Suga of BTS, it was subtle and classy, and it didn't distract from the event as a whole. Yeah, he didn't take a long time. He just showed the display, and he did a good job there. So there he is there. My managing editor, Derek Lee, who was at the event, concurred that having someone like Miles Above Tech demonstrate how the new privacy display works on the Ultra model was a smart move. Instead of having a detached, meaningless celebrity cameo to distract from the event and products, Samsung put the spotlight on someone who talks about this stuff for a living and who we in the tech sphere recognize, Derek told me, noting how Franklin likely has some mainstream appeal as well. Yeah, that was a good move, because all of us YouTubers could relate to him. Short, sweet, and to the point. One thing I noticed that Samsung did differently this year was focus only on one device that had significant updates rather than having a disorganized show. They spent most of the time talking about the Ultra. Derek agreed, saying that by focusing on just the one phone, the event felt like it went by quickly and the show was pretty efficient. JT, I'm going to probably mess this up, Jitesh Brandy, I guess, research manager for IDC's worldwide device trackers, said that the overall event seemed less like a Samsung showcase and more like a victory lap for Google, because they were working together, for Google and Perplexity, in which Samsung provided the vessel, but much of the innovation clearly belonged to their partners. That being said, he noted that Samsung's hardware prowess remains undeniable. I agree the new privacy screen is a genuine breakthrough that serves as a reminder of what Samsung can achieve when they aren't leaning on someone else's software. So in the next story, I think you'll see pictures of that. Despite not having many major design or hardware changes and keeping the focus on the evolution of AI, Samsung is keeping in line with the likes of Google and what it's done with the Pixel 10, a device that we know to be the roadmap for Google's AI. The Galaxy S26 Ultra may still fall behind devices from Chinese OEMs in some areas, I'm just going to say like such as battery and charging tech, but a tightly focused Unpacked event shows that Samsung still has a few tricks up its sleeve while focusing on what it does best. And that's what we want to see more of from a company like Samsung. So she's the editor-in-chief at Android Central, but she was very pleased with the event. So let's go back to How did I get? Okay. I have a follow-up story here just about the privacy display on the S26 Ultra, and only the Ultra has the privacy display. I've got this on Tech Radar, which kind of explains it. The brightness does not change. Samsung answers our 5 biggest Galaxy S26 Ultra privacy display questions by Rowan Davis 2 days ago, of course, on Wednesday. Samsung wants to keep your sensitive notifications hidden from prying eyes, and they did a great job there. Everybody's impressed with this display, including me. So let's go into reader view, get rid of these ads. Samsung unveiled new phones and earbuds at its Samsung Galaxy Unpacked 2026 event, and the start of the show was the Galaxy S26 Ultra, which Samsung announced is the first smartphone to have a bespoke privacy display. I didn't know they were calling it bespoke privacy display. Over the past few weeks, we've seen a bunch of leaks and rumors about the new privacy display feature. Yeah, I've shown you the teasers they put out, starting with a UI 8.5 leak earlier this year. Now that Samsung has officially unveiled the Galaxy S26 Ultra, we can put all the speculation to bed, but we still have a few questions about the privacy display, and we're sure you do too. We attended a pre-unpacked event earlier this week at which Executive VP and Head of Smartphone R&D team Moon Sung-hyun took the stage to give us the lowdown on one of Samsung's biggest smartphone upgrades in recent years. During the session, he answered 5 of our biggest privacy display questions. Here's what we learned. 1. It's a feature users genuinely want. With privacy display, Samsung brings one of the biggest user requests to the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra. During the pre-unpacked event, Moon revealed that research shows that 56% of our users perceive screen disability as a form of privacy invasion, especially when they are logging into banking accounts or chatting with others. Imagine you're on a subway and people sitting next to you are looking over your shoulder. That's where this stops. It works using clever pixel-level tech. When privacy display is enabled, your phone's display will appear as normal from the front, but becomes more difficult to read from a side perspective. So how is this achieved? And it really does work. The technology uses 2 different types of pixels. Narrow pixels that emit light forwards, that's you seeing straight on, and wide pixels that also emit light to the side, so you can turn that on and off. That's why they can't see from the side. If we turn the privacy display on, narrow pixels are primarily activated, that's for you to see it straight on, while wide pixels are operated at a minimum level, limiting side angle visibility while keeping front-facing clarity, Moon explained, and it does a great job. There's a difference with it off and with it on. From the side you can see, but you can do this app by app, so it's pretty cool. But it does a good job. If somebody's looking, they're not going to see much here. So this all makes sense, but does this technology affect the screen's overall brightness? And of course the answer is no. In short, the answer is no. Even when you're viewing the Galaxy S26 Ultra with privacy display enabled, your screen's forward-facing brightness remains unchanged. So that's the other pixels, not the wide pixels. 4. Privacy display can save you from notification fails. One of the other perks of privacy display is that it's not an all-or-nothing feature. It can be enabled for certain apps and not others. That's what I think is the coolest part of it. For example, you can enable privacy display for when you're entering a password or apply it to specific apps such as online banking or messages, which is great. Moon explained that it can also be applied just to notifications. When we watch YouTube together with our family or friends, if a private message pops up, it's a disaster, isn't it? He said, but the privacy display will protect only that notification area so others can't read it. That's great. So our users can enjoy the best viewing experience without any concern. And number 5, privacy display will be the default setting. So you can go in and change it in lots of different ways. Rather than you having to rummage through your phone settings to find the toggle to enable privacy display, the feature will automatically be enabled in the Galaxy S26 Ultra. This way, you're immediately protected from notification alerts being exposed. You can then change settings, it should say, to the feature to suit how and where you use your phone. So, nice quick explanation of how it works. So, that was the big event this week. Now, OpenClaw. OpenClaw, I said the AI assistant that does real work. That's kind of how CNET describes it, so let's go take a look. And this one came out earlier this month, but this is the first chance I've had to get it up. New AI assistant OpenClaw acts like your digital servant, but experts warn of security risks. Yes, and I guess it does have risks, so you will find that as we go through. Now, it was called like 3 different things from the beginning of the month to now. Whether it's called ClaudeBot, MoltBot, or OpenClaw, so it's been through all those names already. This AI assistant is taking the tech world by storm. I gather people are loving what this thing does. And this is by Macy Meyer, and like I said, February 3rd. So into review, get rid of the heads. What if your AI assistant didn't just chat or write code, but perform complicated actions autonomously, like running scheduled tasks, managing your Gmail and WhatsApp messages, or even controlling your smart home? So keep in mind, you're giving up some of your privacy, at least to this thing. That's exactly what the open source OpenClaw, get this, originally named ClaudeBot, then briefly called MoltBot. So both names are gone. Software promises its users, but the security risks that come along with these functionalities are only beginning to be fully understood. So because it's so new, people are still finding security risks, so keep that in mind. If you blinked over the past week, you may have missed crypto scammers hijacking X accounts, a panicked founder accidentally giving away his personal GitHub handle, yeah, I guess it's big in GitHub already, to bots, and a lobster mascot, and that was the mascot of OpenClaw, that briefly sprouted a disturbingly handsome human face. Oh, and somewhere in the chaos, the AI developer Anthropic, who owns a set of commercial LLMs named Claude, and that was the problem with the name, sent a polite email asking them to please, for the love of trademarks, change the name from ClaudeBot. So that was the original name. Welcome to OpenClaw. It's the same AI assistant as ClaudeBot with a newer, sturdier shell. And boy, does this lobster have lore. What is OpenClaw and why should you care? Here's the OpenClaw pitch that had TechX, Twitter, losing its mind. Imagine an AI assistant that doesn't just chat, it does stuff, real stuff, on your computer through the app you use. Pardon me. OpenClaw lives where you actually communicate, like WhatsApp, Telegram, iMessage, Slack, Discord, Signal, you name it. So that's pretty good. You text it like you text a friend, and it remembers your conversations from weeks ago. So remember, privacy, you give some of that up, and can send you proactive reminders. And if you give it permission, it can automate tasks, run commands, and then basically act like a digital personal assistant that never sleeps, unlike its founder. Created by Peter Steinberger, an Austrian developer who sold his company PSPD F-Kit for around $119 million and then got bored enough to build this. OpenClaw represents what a lot of people thought Siri should have been all along. Not a voice-activated party trick, but an actual assistant that learns, remembers, and gets things done. CNET reached out to Steinberger for comment on the story. OpenClaw doesn't require any specific hardware to run. That's good. though the Mac Mini seems popular. The core idea is that OpenClaw itself mostly routes messages to AI companies' servers and calls APIs, and the heavy AI work happens on whichever large language model you select, Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini. Hardware only becomes a bigger conversation if you want to run large local models or do heavy automation. And when I told you about Rob Braxman, he made a video about this. He got this thing doing all kinds of things in the background that he didn't have to do himself. That's where powerful machines like the Mac Mini are often brought into the conversation, but that's not a requirement. The project launched about 3 weeks ago, so it's only been this month, and hit 9,000 GitHub stars in 24 hours. By the time the dust settled late last week, it had rocketed past 60,000 stars, with everyone from AI researcher Andrei Karpathy to investor in White House AI and crypto czar David Sachs, I know that name, singing its praises. MacStories called it the future of personal AI assistant. Then things got weird. The rename that broke the internet twice, because it's been named twice this month. Ostensibly 2 weekends ago, Anthropic slid into Steinberger's inbox to point out that Claude, the assistant's name, and Claude Bot, the project name, were maybe just a little too similar to its own AI, Claude. Yeah, and their Claude AI is very famous and used by millions of people. As a trademark owner, we have an obligation to protect our mark, so we reached out directly to the creator of Claude Bot about this, a representative from Anthropic said in an email statement to CNET. By 3:30 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time on Tuesday, January 27th, Steinbrenner made his call. At Moltbot, it is, so he changed the name. What happened next, according to Steinberger's post on X and the previous Moltbot blog, was like a digital heist movie, except everyone was a bot and the gateway cards were social media handles. Within seconds, literally seconds, automated bots sniped the Claude bot handle. The squatter immediately posted a crypto wallet address. Meanwhile, in a sleep-deprived panic, so I guess this guy didn't get to sleep much, Steinberger accidentally renamed his personal GitHub account instead of the organization's account, so he renamed the wrong one. Bots grabbed the stipend before he could blink. He said both crises required him to call in contacts at X and GitHub to make fixes. Now, keep in mind, he's in Austria, so in America, different time zone. He was probably 6 hours ahead of us. So that's probably why he didn't get any sleep. Then there was what the creators dubbed the handsome multi incident. Steinberger instructed Multi, the AI, to redesign its own icon in one memorable attempt to make the mascot look 5 years older. The AI generated a human man's face grafted onto a lobster body. That is hilarious. I wish they'd put a picture of that. The internet turned it into a meme, a la handsome Squidward, within minutes. Yes, of course they did. Fake profiles claiming to be head of engineering at Claudebot shilled crypto screams. A fake $ Claude cryptocurrency briefly hit a $16 million market cap before crashing over 90%. I can see why this guy didn't get any sleep. Any project that lists me as a coin owner is a scam, Steinberger posted on X, exasperated to thousands of increasingly confused followers. Glad I wasn't following this. To continue with the chaotic saga that has unfolded over the past weeks as of January 30th, the project has settled on renaming Moltbot to OpenClaw. So that's supposedly and hopefully the final name. Bringing in open for open source and claw for its lobster heritage. The name seems to make sense due to those considerations. However, the reasoning is actually much simpler. Steinberger just didn't like the name. What made Clawbot or OpenClaw go viral? strip away the chaos, and OpenClaw is genuinely impressive, and that's what Rob Braxman said too. Most AI tools are basically the same. You open a website, type a question or query, wait for it to generate, copy the answer, paste it somewhere else, etc., etc., etc. OpenClaw wants to flip that script by having the assistant inside your existing conversation. So it's keeping track of what you tell it and what it's learned when you tell it to do things. You're already in WhatsApp or iMessage, so why not just text it like you text a coworker? The killer features? Well, there are three main things. For one, persistent memory. So remember, that's dealing with your privacy. OpenClaw doesn't forget everything when you close the app. It learns your preferences, tracks ongoing projects, and actually remembers that conversation you had last Tuesday. Let me get a swig of green tea here. Thank you. There are also proactive notifications. It can message you first when something matters, such as daily briefings, deadline reminders, and email triage summaries. You can wake up to a text saying, here are your 3 priorities today, without having to ask the AI first. That's pretty impressive. Finally, there's real automation. Depending on your setup, it can schedule tasks, fill forms, organize files, search your email, generate reports, and control smart home devices. So it knows a lot about you. People reported using it for everything from inbox cleanup to research threads that span days, and from habit tracking to automated weekly recaps of what they shipped. The use cases seem to keep multiplying because once it's wired into your actual tools, calendar, notes, email, it stops feeling like software and is just part of your routine. Should you actually use OpenClaw? Time for real talk. OpenClaw is not a polished, enterprise-ready product with vendor support and compliance paperwork, so you can bet there's going to be some rules that come to this thing, which is something Steinberger admits. It's a fast-moving open-source project that just survived a near-death experience involving trademark lawyers, crypto scammers, and catastrophically exposed databases. Whew. So you might be wondering, through all this hoopla, whether OpenClaw is even something you should actually try. Now, remember, I recommended you watching Rob Braxman, Braxman, video, because he explains it very well, and he's impressed with it. And like I said, he's a privacy expert. Sure, this tool remembers information across weeks, works between apps and systems, and provides proactive notifications. But it's got rough edges. This isn't a tool for you if you need something that just works and doesn't have complicated installation steps. And you probably don't want to take this on if you don't want to think about and don't deeply understand cybersecurity. That's why I said Rob Braxman, because he's a real cybersecurity expert. Critical OpenClaw security risks to know about. Security experts have raised red flags about OpenClaw's safety as it grows in popularity. Because the agent is designed to run locally and interact with emails, files, and credentials, even small setup mistakes can have big consequences. So you've got to be pretty detailed and know what you're doing. In the early days of ClaudeBot, researchers spotted numerous publicly accessible deployments with little or no authentication, exposing API keys, that's not good, chat logs, and system access to anyone who stumbles across them. More recently, the security firm Census has identified 21,639 publicly exposed instances, primarily in the U.S., China, and Singapore. Some of the most visible security concerns have been social rather than technical, including fake ClaudeBot, Moltbot OpenClaw downloads, and hijacked accounts used to spread malware or scams. I guess you got to be careful with this thing. KOI Security has identified 341 malicious skills, among the roughly 3,000 programs available on the ClawHub software directory. So I guess it's very useful, but you got to be very careful too. The Claw Hub directory currently hosts about 3,000 skills that the OpenClaw AI assistant can learn to do. While developers have moved quickly to patch specific flaws, security analysts say OpenClaw's turbulent debut highlights a larger issue facing AI agents. As they become more autonomous and more powerful, the security risks scale just as fast. Yeah, because if they're doing stuff on their own because you want them to, that means they're doing stuff at times when you don't even know what they're doing. So it makes sense. Roy Ackerman, head of cloud and identity security at Silverfort, an identity security platform, said in an email to CNET that the risk of a tool like OpenClaw isn't that it's overly malicious. What's risky is that it continues to act under a legitimate human identity, which can blur the lines between a user and the machine acting on their behalf. Yeah, because it's doing stuff on its own that you want it to do. So you're not always going to be aware when it's doing it. When an AI agent continues to operate using a human's credentials, which is what you want, after the human has logged off, it becomes a hybrid identity that most security controls aren't designed to recognize or govern, Ackerman said. That makes perfect sense. Organizations shouldn't try to block these tools outright, but they do need to change their posture, treat autonomous agents as identities, limit their privileges, that's key, and monitor behavior continuously, not just logins. I guess you can't just let it go off and do things in the background for you, or at least not too much. The little lobster that molted and kept going. According to Steinberger, molting is what lobsters do to grow. They shed their old shell and emerge bigger from ClawedBot to MoltBot to OpenClaw. OpenClaw is the same software as ClawedBot, offering the same impressive engineering and vision of what personal AI assistants could be. But the past almost 120 hours forced it to grow up fast, dealing with security vulnerabilities, battening down authentication, and learning that viral success attracts not just users, but scammers, squatters, and yes, intellectual property lawyers. Through all of this, OpenClaw is still standing. I'm kind of amazed. Discord is still buzzing. GitHub stars keep climbing. And somewhere in Vienna, or maybe London, Peter Steinberger is probably still fending off DMs from people asking if he's launching a crypto token. He's not. Please stop asking. Want to try OpenClaw yourself? Head to openclaw.ai for documentation. Yeah, I would say read the documentation well. Installation guides, and most importantly, a security checklist. Just maybe use a spare laptop, and definitely don't name your project after anyone's trademarked AI model. Turns out that matters. So I guess it's very useful, but you got to watch what you're doing with it. That's what I would say. So, interesting. So like I say, I highly recommend checking out Rob Braxman's video about OpenClaw, which he did about 3 or 4 days ago. And I would also highly recommend following him. Okay, T-Mobile. T-Mobile brings live translation, I said to all customers, but as I went through the article in more depth, maybe not all customers, but we'll see. So this was on CNET. So T-Mobile introduces real-time live translation in its network for any call. So that's great that you can do this on any phone call. An AI agent on T-Mobile's network can translate between languages as you and the other person talk. And you don't have to tell it which languages. It figures it out on its own. And you don't need special phone hardware to do it. Written by Jeff Carlson on the 19th. So to read a view. It's currently possible to translate conversations in real time using your phone without a human translator in the middle. And I've shown you that, I've done samples with Eleanor, and she going back and forth with German and English, and we can do it with pixels, but not every phone can do it. The Google Translate app on any Android phone or Apple AirPods Pro 3 connected to an iPhone can help anyone overcome language barriers. Well, almost anyone. Not every person owns a phone that can support live translation or has the time or bandwidth to install an app and maybe commit to a subscription. Yeah, you might be committing to a subscription without even knowing it. T-Mobile wants to remove any obstacles that stand in the way of you talking to someone on a phone call. It's introduced an upcoming, so it's not there yet, I guess, live translation call feature, which begins testing in the spring, that puts language translation at the network level. So even if you own a basic dumb phone, you can talk with someone who speaks one of over 50 languages with the help of T-Mobile's network AI agent. That's pretty impressive. Registration is now open for a beta of live translation to subscribers of any postpaid T-Mobile plan, such as the Essentials, Experience More, Experience Beyond, and Better Value plans. So those 4 types of T-Mobile users right now can get the beta. We want to make voice cool again, said John Saw, T-Mobile President of Technology and Chief Technology Officer, citing that its customers make 6 billion international calls per year, and 40% of those people travel internationally, so that makes sense. Live translation is a real breakthrough in innovation by introducing the latest AI models into our voice network. Just as it did during the beta of what became the T-Satellite service, T-Mobile has not yet decided which plans will include the live translation calling feature. So you've got those 4 right now, but I guess they haven't decided what the final plans will be. It also hasn't decided what, if any, cost there will be. So I would get it while it's free whenever they allow us to get to it. T-Satellite is currently included in the Experience Beyond and Better Value plans and available on other plans as a $10 add-on. It's also open to customers of other providers for $10 a month. Well, that's good. I haven't tried T-Mobile's live translation, but I look forward to testing it soon. How live translation will work. To turn on live translation during a call, the T-Mobile subscriber presses star 87 star, which activates the AI agent. Only one participant on the call needs to be a T-Mobile subscriber. Well, that's good. And it will also work when the customer is roaming. Also very good. T-Mobile says there's no setup, no voice training, and no need to specify which languages to translate. That's very cool. The AI agent detects what languages are being spoken in real time and speaks the translation when a person stops speaking. It gets more impressive to me. The AI agent will also detect whether you're calling from another country and select a language for the translation. If you call someone in Brazil, it might choose Portuguese, for example. If the person speaks a different language, such as Spanish, instead of Brazilian Portuguese, the agent will switch immediately. That is very cool. Also, the spoken translation will not sound like a robotic voice. Our AI model can actually clone your voice in another language and preserve the intonation, the emotions, and the rhythm as well, all picked up on the fly, said Saw. That's amazing and wonderful. I think the iPhone can do the same thing. He attributes the performance to the low latency inherent on T-Mobile's 5G advanced network. Once activated, the feature doesn't need to be turned off. If both speakers switch to the same language, the AI agent just stops working as we go between. So it does that automatically. The true test will be the quality of the translations, and that you won't know until you try it. We have done a lot of benchmarks for AI-powered translation, Saw said, and it matches the accuracy of all the established services. He said the model is compliant with FCC 2027 captioning caption, thank you, guidelines and meets all ADA accessibility standards. When I asked Saul whether conversations are recorded even during the beta period, he said that kind of fine-tuning is being done using millions of internal-only test calls. So be aware they might be recording the conversations, so you might not want to. Oh, all of a sudden, Will pops in. There you are.
Hey, what's up, George?
How you doing, sir?
Yeah.
Were you aware that Mike was on earlier?
No, I was asleep.
Oh, okay.
Mike came on.
That's right. You're between jobs, aren't you?
Yeah, you know.
All right, folks. I'm going to stop the story and talk to Will for a minute. So glad you stopped
my
by.
Yeah,
So-
what's going on?
We got some excitement. Well, Mike gave us some excitement. I gather you've got a pixel again. Oops.
Yeah.
Now, so he said he thought you had it about a week. Is that right?
Oh, it's been more than that. But
How long?
what happened was I don't even know how many weeks, but Mike was ignoring me.
Yeah, he told me that you were texting him and you said, "What's up, Brian?" He thought it was spam.
Yeah, he wasn't answering me.
And then you texted him from your other number, and then he realized it was you.
Yeah, you were in the group. You ain't answer either. I was like, what's wrong with y'all?
Oh, I didn't even see it because you know me. Half the time I have my iPhone with me, half the time I don't.
Yeah, I know you got 19 phones.
Well, and you should see today. This came in today. Can you see?
Hold on, let me see.
This is the
Yeah, what is
Razr
that?
2025, the low-end Motorola Razr 2025, because they took $100 off it, and I said, where am I going to get this for $100? And so I picked it up, and remember, I had the original 2023 Ultra, and my screen died on me in about 9 months. So I've been sketchy about it, but when I saw that was on sale, I said, well, let me pick up this cheaper one. Now I'm going to end up comparing it with my Z Flip 7 FE. So just wanted you to see that.
Yeah,
But
I know y'all
the more
always-
exciting thing, so you're enjoying, so you have the Pixel 10 with Pro again?
Yeah.
Okay,
XL.
so you really
Big
enjoy that. And he said you got a watch too.
Yeah.
So you really, really enjoyed that phone.
Yeah, I guess I'm crazy.
Now, which one? No, you're just somewhat like us. You're not as bad as Mike and I, but so which phone are you using the most? Are you kind of 50-50 or what?
Yeah. Well, I got the little cheap visible line on there. So
Okay. So you are using it daily then.
yeah.
Okay. Now, is it confusing your wife or your kids?
No, because they still use the iPhone.
Okay, all right. So it's only me and Mike that are the confused ones, right?
Yeah. Always.
But that's okay. We all have so many numbers. We confuse each other almost consistently. So.
Y'all got 50,000 phones.
Well, I
18
only
numbers.
have 3 numbers, and I told Mike I'm going to go to the T-Mobile store. I'm going to have the eSIM cut off of my Pixel 10 so I can have a regular SIM and put it in that Razr, because just having 2 eSIMs between the Pixel 10 and the iPhone, it's not enough. I need to have at least 2 phones where I can just switch the lines out. So I'll be keeping the Pixel 10. I just won't be able to make phone calls or text on it. So it sounds like you're going to be keeping the Pixel for a while.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, good. We finally got you.
Yeah.
Well, we finally got you for now. We can never be sure how much we've got you.
Yeah, well, the iPhone is coming.
Which iPhone?
That foldable, ain't it?
Oh, that one. Yeah, but we don't know when that's coming.
Yeah.
and you know it's going to, it's going to be an iPhone. I'm guessing that thing's going to cost $3,000. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't think I'm doing that. No
Yeah, I'm
foldable.
not
Not
going to
with their
do that
first.
either.
Not with their first one.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
not
put
with.
the story out the other day or last week that the people who have the Samsung trifold, well, of course, being a first gen, some people are having issues with the displays. You know.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I heard they're having a lot of issues. Matter of
Yeah,
fact,
and I get
one of the couriers at my job was complaining about his fold, his
okay.
Galaxy Fold. He was saying he has a lot of issues with that. So I don't know.
That's funny. Everybody says the fold they have so much experience with it now it should be fine. So that's the first I've heard that. And this is
Yeah, I
the
don't know.
fold
Maybe
set. This is the fold
he might
seven.
have just been complaining.
Okay, was
Yeah,
this the
yeah,
fold
the new
set?
one.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
All
Because I was
right.
telling
Well,
him, I was like, man, it's nice. And he was just like, he was saying about the crease. He was
right.
just complaining. So
So yeah, he was just
my
sounding
guess
off a
is
bit.
he didn't pay for it outright. He probably was on a carrier because, you
Exactly.
know,
Yeah. I'm glad I kept my One Plus open because I still love that phone and it still was great. You know. So now I'll have my one big folding phone and two flip phones. Anyway, so what time you have to go to work tomorrow morning?
yeah.
Okay, and this is the way you work 48 hours straight.
No, Today
Uh,
I worked, I did a seven. What's today? Today's
Today is
Friday.
Friday,
Thursday night, I did 7 p to 7 a, and then I went straight into work in the morning from 7 to 3 at my other job.
so
That's
you've gone from one job to the other, and basically no wonder you just so you stayed up what 30 some hours.
No, it was 20 something. Yeah.
Okay, and
When
you
we had
do
that
this
big
every week.
snowstorm, when we had no, nah, usually I just do my 12. When we had that big snowstorm, I was up, I did 24.
Okay. Yeah, Mike said it melted kind of quick. He was happy about
Well,
that.
this one, I was talking about the one we had snow. Well, yeah,
Oh, the
yeah,
other
we had
one before
snow.
that, yeah,
Yeah, that one
yeah.
I did a 24. I went to work
Okay, yeah.
11
Mike
to
said the
7
other
on
one lasted a lot
Friday.
longer. So,
Yeah, it did because it was more cold.
yeah, I was telling him not to be jealous. We hit 72 today. I
Yeah,
gather we're going to have that kind. I've been doing most of my exercises inside because it's been so cold here. But this weekend I'll be able to get on my bicycle and ride. I think both Saturday and Sunday, so that's good.
yeah.
So what time do you go to work tomorrow?
7 in the morning.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm so glad you came in. I'm going to stop. I'm not going to finish the last story, but the last story was just Anthropic and the DoD's trying to make Anthropic give them more access so they can bomb whenever they feel like it. But I think these people are nuts. But Anthropic is standing their ground, and they're not going to give it to them. They say. So
Yeah.
anyway, I'm glad you came on. So you sound like you're still tired. I guess you would be though.
Yeah, yeah. I don't even know why I woke up.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you didn't. I'm glad you dropped in.
Yeah,
Anyway, I will try to keep up with my text messages on my iPhone because I know you and Mike tend to mostly text there.
well, no, Mike don't even really use his iPhone no more. I didn't
Oh,
even know he
really?
still had it. Yeah,
Oh,
Mike don't never text from the iPhone.
well, he texted one today.
From the iPhone, he must have just
Yes.
switched to eSIM. I don't even know what phone is what with y'all.
Yeah, I
I can't
understand
even
it.
keep up because y'all.
Yeah, he did one today about another journalist that went from doing Android stuff and started working for Google. And
Yeah,
then
I'd seen that article. I didn't know where it was from.
okay, yeah, that came. Yeah, that I got it on my iPhone, so it's in that group chat that the three of us are in. Oh, and he was trying out his eSIM too. I didn't even realize that. He did that afterward, at just before we went on the air, and he said his eSIM worked. So he
Yeah, I
put his
see. I
on
seen that
eSIM, and I'm
message.
taking mine off eSIM.
Yeah.
So if we text you, should we stick with texting you on the iPhone, or should we be using your other line?
Oh, it don't matter.
Okay, so you're like me. You try to keep up. Yeah.
Yeah, I try.
Okay. Yeah, me too. That's all I can do.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. I'm gonna let you get some rest.
All right, go ahead, George.
All right. Sleep well. I'm glad you came in.
All right.
God bless you, brother. All right.
Yep.
Talk to you
Yep.
later.
I'll be talking to you. All right.
All right. Bye. All right, folks. We had Mike and we had Will, so we had a pretty good broadcast tonight. I was going to do one more story, but I figured we had a pretty good night tonight, and we've gone an hour and a half. So thanks for those who tuned in. I will be doing a quick unboxing of some type over the weekend of this Razor 2025, and then sometime during the week I'll be doing a comparison with the Galaxy Z Flip 7 FE, and then we'll go on from there. So, thanks guys for tuning in. I hope everybody has a very blessed weekend, and like here in Chattanooga, we look like we're going to have a beautiful weekend. So I wish a beautiful weekend for everybody, and I hope everybody has a very blessed week. And let's always remember we all do better when we love each other. All right, folks, I'm going to say good night. Have a good one.